Good evening, Knicks fans. It's your boy. And you are now tuned into another episode of OU and Knicks podcast. I have the lovely Miss Lee here with me today, and we're going to be talking basketball as usual. But before I get this episode started off today, before I let everybody know about how we feel about the Knicks, which is a very good feeling, I got to get something off of my chest. I witnessed blasphemy today. Not from a coach, not from the Knicks, but from three players in the NBA who don't know how to put respect on somebody's name. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook. Media Day happened today, and I noticed a little bit, well, a lot, of what was being said about who team it really was and who was going to be the end all be all on this team. But I didn't hear one thing. I didn't hear the name Carmelo Anthony. Not one time did I hear it. And that's blasphemy to me. Second in the league in career points scored per game, scoring titles, college championship, one of the most lethal and unstoppable players in the game. And y'all, for 1 second, don't have enough respect to bring him up in a conversation between y'all. All of a sudden, it's the big three. And you don't include Carmelo Anthony, who's hands down been a more efficient player than LeBron James himself, who has been a more efficient player than Russell Westbrook himself, who has been a more of an efficient player than Anthony Davis himself. How dare you not bring his name up when you're talking about a big three? It's not a big three, it's a big four. How dare you? If Carmelo Anthony would have said, to hell with the money, and went to Chicago Bulls with Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah, Taj Gibson, Carlos Boozer, I guarantee you the Miami Heat will not boast the championships that they boast today. If Carmelo Anthony would have said to hell with the money and went and joined Kobe Bryant and Paul Gasol on the Lakers, I guarantee the Heat and San Antonio would not have rings. This is a guaranteed fact. He is that lethal of a player. Carmelo Anthony thrived inside of a deep and very competitive Western Conference. The beginning, the first 9 years, the first nine seasons of his career. That's where he was at. He was in the Western Conference battling Kobe Bryant, battling Amari Stoudemire in the Suns, battling Tim Duncan, Tony Parker in the Spurs, battling Dirk Nowitzki in with the Mavs. How dare you not bring his name up in a conversation when it involves you three? When he's been more of an efficient shooter, an efficient scorer. Yeah, you may have scored more points than him, but it was never as efficient as him. There's debate that he should have won the Rookie of the Year over LeBron James. He took the Nuggets to the Western Conference Finals and battled one of the all-time greats. He lost, but he battled one of the all-time greats and left when they left that arena. Kobe Bryant was hugging him, saying, "Yes, you are the future." How dare you, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, not put Carmelo Anthony name in the same sentence, y'all, because he's always been my favorite player over LeBron. I've always liked Carmelo Anthony over LeBron, over anybody that you name it. I like Carmelo Anthony more than I like Michael Jordan. And this is fact. This is how I've been following him since forever. Do you know how happy I was when he brought a championship to Syracuse? I'm from New York. So for y'all to sit up there and say, oh, it's the big three in all be all with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook, who can't even shoot a jump shot. How dare you? When you have that much of an arsenal on your team besides y'all three players. Y'all the worst shooters on your team. Sure, you could pass the ball, get a rebound, and score, but let's be honest. Chris Nunn finished with a better percentage than y'all did. Malik Monk finished with a better shooting percentage than all of y'all did. Carmelo Anthony finished with a better shooting percentage than y'all did. Maybe you could say that about Trevor Ariza and the rest of them dudes, but you can't say that about Carmelo Anthony. Sure, he didn't bring up the same points as you, but you cannot say he wasn't more efficient than you. And throughout the time, he's last more with better with his health than you. Who's more reliable? Carmelo Anthony or Anthony Davis? Anthony Davis would not have gotten a sniff. He was barely getting a sniff of the playoffs on the Pelicans. And when he was getting dropped in the first or second round. How can you not put Carmelo Anthony in a conversation with you three? And he's the active second leader, 27,000 points and counting, only behind LeBron. And the only reason why LeBron is more above him is because LeBron had teammates that brought him to the finals. Name somebody that named the one time that Carmelo Anthony really had a good squad besides when he was with Denver, which was taking him to the Western Conference Finals. When he came to the Knicks, he had Jason Kidd, Amari Stoudemire in the crew, an aging crew. They got to the second round. Otherwise, that he hasn't had nothing. And he still would have, if he would have been making it to the playoffs, he would have eclipsed LeBron James in scoring all time. Stop playing with me. So next time y'all want to sit up there and have a conversation about the big three, you better say the big four. Because that team goes nowhere without Carmelo Anthony. Because y'all can't shoot. You can't. You can't shoot, LeBron. You're not a good shooter. You can't shoot, Russell Westbrook. You're not a good shooter. Anthony Davis, you are okay shooter. You ain't Carmelo Anthony. How dare you? You got anything to include on this?
You don't said it all.
I
And
just
it's crazy because Carmelo, the only on his press conference, and they asked him serious questions. Um, because the only reason why he's even on the Lakers
it's
is because
because
of LeBron.
if LeBron didn't ask him to
If
come, he'd
LeBron
still be
didn't
in Portland.
ask him, he was not gonna go.
He will still be on Portland.
He sure will be. He was not gonna go.
You asked him.
He asked. He was like, you sure you want me to come? Because if you don't, I'm not about to come. Because see, that's what I like about certain players in the league. They don't bandwagon just to go and try to win a champ. Not saying that they don't want to win one, but they're not gonna make it their mission to go jump on a or start a superstar team just so they can win a championship. I feel like when you do that, you're making the game at a disadvantage, and not necessarily that you're gonna go to the playoffs and go to the finals and win a
Make the
championship.
league boring.
And yeah, it just it takes away from the game. It makes it not interesting to watch anymore. It's just like, what's the point? I like to really see teams competing. That's the fun of the game. But when you trying to make super teams and do all this stuff, it's like it's like predictable. Like, okay, y'all don't know who gonna be in the finals, who gonna. It's like,
Just
and
put some respect on Carmelo
right,
Anthony name.
he deserved that. He
Don't
did
sit up there and say it end all be all with y'all three.
right, and
Because I guarantee when clutch time comes, it won't be Russell Westbrook who you be passing the ball to. It won't be LeBron James who LeBron James is going to be first of all doing the passing.
mm,
The majority, the most likely person who on their team can really sit up there and say, "Give me the ball, let me take us there," is Carmelo Anthony.
that what
He has that much. He has that much fire and desire and clutch genes inside of him to where you want him taking the last shot. How many times last season? Yeah, I'm all due respect to Damian Lillard. But how many times did we witness last season Carmelo Anthony go off in the fourth quarter? 17 points, 15 points, fourth quarter. Clutch genes. Don't disrespect him and act like he ain't more efficient than all three of y'all, because he is.
the one thing I could say I'm looking forward. I really want to see how well they're gonna gel together
As
because
in who? The Lakers?
the Lakers, because I know from watching how every single one of them play,
Mhm.
how Westbrook play, how LeBron play, how Anthony Davis play, and Carmelo. I know what Carmelo is bringing to the Lakers.
Right.
Now, the only the only thing that I'm really concerned about, because you know how Westbrook get when he feel like his team is at the bottom.
He get tunnel vision.
Right, it's you. Right, it's you. Because I can just picture a whole bunch of arguments going on the sidelines when he get into that zone where it's just him. He don't think about nobody else,
Right.
and he don't look for his teammates to pass the ball. He want to just do it himself.
Mhm.
I can picture a whole lot of that gonna be going on with him, because are you really gonna sit up there and humble yourself and put yourself on the back burner and be like, listen, I'm gonna take a step back and include my teammates?
I don't know if Russell Westbrook could do that.
I don't think he can.
He's
I
did it.
no,
He's did it on every team that he's been a part of. Create a tunnel vision to where it's all about him.
right, especially in the fourth quarter when I'm like, dude, your
Just sit
shots
up there.
is not falling.
I gotta
Why is
take the
you
last
still
shot, and he shoots something. He's so concerned with being that game winner, having the media on him at the end of the game. Not saying that it's. I'm listen. This is not me trying to bash Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, or Anthony Davis. I'm just basing it on the facts of what I've seen through these guys' career. And the most clutch person on that team right now, who I could say, is Carmelo Anthony. He is the most clutch player on that team. Second behind him, I would say Anthony Davis is the most clutch. When it goes in after them two, you can make your pick on who you feel likes the clutch, because we're not going to sit up here and act like LeBron is some sniper. LeBron is not a sniper. The only sniper that's really on that team is Carmelo Anthony. He can be a sniper. I'm not saying that Carmelo Anthony hasn't missed a shot, but I'm just saying, as far as the best shooter on that team is gonna be Carmelo Anthony. But I don't want to even stick on them too long, because at the end of the day, this is not about them. I'm a Knicks fan. That's what I care about. I could care less about the Lakers unless the Knicks ain't winning the championship. If the Knicks don't have no chance to sniff the championship, I'd rather it be the Lakers, for the reason being Carmelo Anthony. I've always wanted him to get a ring. I felt that he had multiple opportunities to be able to get a ring, and he chose otherwise. Be it, albeit the money, but he chose otherwise. But I mean, anything last thing you got to say about that situation with the Lakers?
I did,
Yeah, and it's done. And
and I forgot what I wanted to say.
but well, forget them. Well,
No, we ain't gonna forget them. It's there. I think I remember. Now I know, but I know this is it's gonna be an interesting season. That's basically, it really is.
gonna take that last shot.
I'm right, and right, you brought me back to my point of right with him. It's like, dude, because any team that he's when it gets to that fourth quarter, there's a lot of opportunities where I saw with Westbrook where he's bringing the ball up and you want to pull up and shoot a three. Why would you, dude? You can't shoot threes, and then you can't. You do it on every team you don't been on. Why? Why do you constantly keep doing it? And then you get the ball again. You come back up and do the same thing. Like, and I've always said this, and I'm constantly going to say this. I understand with sports and whatever the case may be, you're going to build your superstars, you're going to have your star players, you're going to have your all star. But this game, it's not a one man game, it's a team sport.
Right.
And once people get that in their head that it's a team sport, all the other players around you, they're the one who made you who you are. You're not just that by yourself. And that's the thing I would wish that everyone will get, even the coach down to everybody. It is a team sport. And once you get that down and understand that you're not by yourself. If it was just you wouldn't get anywhere.
You need to text that to Kyrie Irving because
It
that
is
kid.
not it is not just you. You're not the only person that's on that team. It's a five, what is it, a 15-man roster,
Yes.
and they rotate between what the least they play is like 10 people. But I feel like, what's the purpose? Listen, I can't be on nobody's sports team if you ain't. I'm not about to just keep coming, sitting, and getting a paycheck. If I love basketball, I'll expect to be playing on that court. That's just me. Maybe some of them is okay with sitting there and collecting a paycheck and only go in if your team is losing and they just want you to get some playing time. And I feel like that's wrong. Why get people to be on a team if they're not gonna play?
How do you feel that the Lakers gonna finish out their season?
I don't even know. I just have to look and see how they.
So no early
They
predictions.
don't have no early. Listen,
I predict that the Lakers are going to the championship. I believe that the Lakers and I'm not too sure about Brooklyn. I'm not people saying that Brooklyn is going to be that team, but I'm not too
no.
sure about Brooklyn.
I think Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn gonna have the same season they had last
Yeah,
year.
I think they're gonna be
Because at the end of the
third
day,
round
they
exit.
they sat up there and demolished the Brooklyn Nets because the squad they had was a great squad,
Right.
and they came in and contaminated it with Kyrie, and yeah, I don't know about that. Cause that squad they had, I don't. Nobody on that squad can stay healthy. They're all basically injury prone players that's on the Brooklyn Nets.
Besides James Harden, I wouldn't say James Harden.
James Harden, no, every
He's
now and then,
relatively
yeah.
healthy
But
when he's
Blake
playing the
Griffin,
game.
he's injury prone. Kyrie's injury prone. Kevin Durant, every now and then, with
He's
tweet,
injury prone.
he's
Ain't no
injury
every now and
prone.
then he's injury prone.
LaMarcus Aldridge can be injured. You know what I'm saying? It's like they got too many people over there that's injury prone to me. I don't know what they be doing on their off season because you need to be working out. You need to be eating healthy, resting your body, stay fit. If you want to have a long season to where you're not missing a lot of games.
Right. All All right, so I want to get on to these Knicks. I don't want to be on here, keep you guys too long. But I have to say, what I witnessed from the Knicks has been awesome. And I'm pretty sure that you guys remember the video that I dropped about the Knicks winning the championship. And it's very possible. I think that the league is really sleeping on the Knicks. I believe that they're not giving Kemba Walker the just due that he deserves. I believe that they're not even giving Evan Fournier the just due that he deserves. Because these is not no slouch dudes. You got both of these guys averaging almost 20 points per game last season on their respective teams before Evan Fournier was ultimately traded to the Boston Celtics. Now, I just want to get into detail of what I witnessed during media camp. During training camp and media day. And I just want to kind of touch base on what my hopes is for the season for the Knicks, and what is my season projections for the Knicks, because I believe that the Knicks are not getting the type of respect that they deserve themselves. So you know I'm gonna touch base on this right now, and we're gonna start with media day. And the first person I really want to talk about is Derrick Rose. What I noticed from Derrick Rose is, you know, Derrick Rose, he accepted his role with the Knicks. I liked it that when he came into, when they asked him about what his role would be on the Knicks, I'm I'm happy that he acknowledged that he felt that his talent was needed on that second unit as opposed to the first unit. So he already came in with the mindset knowing that he was going to be coming off the bench and relinquishing that role, even though it wasn't his, because they had a trash player in front of him in Alfred Payton. I like that Derrick Rose came in with the mindset to say no. I liked it to be in that bench core, and I'm gonna let the starters do what they need to do so I could come off the bench and give them more firepower.
Yeah, because I feel like him coming off the, not saying that he probably wouldn't have gotten the starting position, but I think he liked the fact that he's coming off the bench with quickly.
Hmm.
The fact that, the second, they mesh well together.
And
So,
Alex Burke.
right. So, they already develop a system with how they, the second unit play, and how he also will play with the starters as well. So I think I don't I'm gonna stop you because I don't want to go too much into Nick stuff.
Oh yeah, because I really did like that. I like that he acknowledged that he wasn't trying to search out the starting role,
Right.
and I like that. You know, one thing that I've always liked about Derrick Rose is he's a very private person with his workouts. He doesn't reveal too much, but you always know that you're going to get something that's spectacular because he's dramatically changed the way that he plays. When Derrick Rose first came into the league, he was a high flyer. He wanted to dunk on every play. He wanted to drive to the basket on every play. And from the little bit of a video that we did get from him shooting the threes with, I believe it was him and Julius Randle, what I saw from Derrick Rose is Derrick Rose is coming in with an aspect of to attack the the corner three. I noticed that. And he's want to attack, he want to take more threes. He said that in his media day interview. And do you think that with him developing more of a three-point shot, that do you think that it'll help the Knicks in the long run?
It would help the Knicks because a lot of teams now is getting away from going to the basket. You still have those players that, you know, will go and drive. And I think with the game of basketball, you have to adjust with the game. So you have to go in the way the game is going. You have to shift.
So
So you
you
have
don't think
to.
that we need a interior presence?
No, I'm not saying that because you're still going to have that. because you're still gonna have those players that's gonna want to still drive to the basket. Because if you have mo- some of your players that's willing to take those 3-point shots, everybody else is going to be focused on the outsider. So they're not going to worry about who is going to be on the inside.
Mhm.
So if they think that, okay, Derek going to probably try to go for a three, RJ or Julius or one of them could be cutting to go to the basket, and he could easily quick and do an alley hoop pass. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not focused on who's cutting to the basket. They're so busy focused on the outside, or who's on that corner, who's there, who's gonna post up at the 3-point line. So that's what they're gonna be focused on. So that would allow your other your other teammates to get themselves open to either make a mid-range shot or go to the basket.
And that's something that I feel that RJ Barrett himself will definitely benefit from, because RJ, in my opinion, is more dominant when he can go inside. Even
Yeah,
though
when he
he's not a high
drives.
flyer, he's strong. He can move players off of him and be able to create
Exactly.
space. And with when they had Elfrid Payton, you didn't have to worry about Elfrid Payton shooting no threes. So the defense was able to clog the interior paint. And that's what made it hard for RJ. Now you got Kemba Walker, who's an efficient player and can hit threes. You got Evan Fournier, who can hit threes. The only person that's gonna be on the starting unit that can't necessarily post up and shoot a three would be Nerlens Noel or Mitchell Robinson if he was to take that spot. Everybody else is able to space the floor.
What if
With
Mitch was working on shooting threes?
he working on shooting threes, but I mean, I don't think that Mitchell Robinson really about to
But I
step in
think
and
they
shoot
but I
threes.
think I think they'll be lethal with the fact that now you have your whole starting five basically that could shoot threes.
And your bench,
And your bench that could shoot threes, because
you got
that's basically,
snipers on your
yeah,
bench.
because that's basically where the league is going,
Right.
is shooting threes.
Right. I think that the Knicks is going to be more of a dominant team than what people are really giving them the credit for, because the Knicks have like very capable players of going for 30 at any time.
Hmm. Anybody can
Kimber
go off.
Walker will drop 40 on you at any given time. Julius Randle will drop 40 on you from any given time. Hell, even Derrick Rose will drop 40 on you. Let's not act like he still don't have that rocket booster locked away in the locker room somewhere. This kid is a monster. And when you couple that with Obi Toppin, quickly, RJ Barrett, and our new recruits and Deuce McBride, Quentin Grimes, who I'm pretty sure they're not going to get as much playing time as the other guys. But when you couple that and look at the Knicks' entire roster, the Knicks have a squad. The only thing that you could probably say is they're gonna let up off a defense. And we're not gonna act like Kimber Walker is just so bad of a defensive player that he averaged over a steal a game. So we're not going to sit up here and act like Kemba Walker can't play defense. We're not going to sit up here and act like Evan Fournier can't play defense. We're not even going to sit up here and act like RJ Barrett can't play defense, which I think he needs to improve on dramatically. But these guys are capable of still keeping up that defensive intensity. And with Tom Thibodeau's defensive mind and his strategies on how to make you a better defender, I'm pretty sure the Knicks will still be in that top 10 range in defense, but will boost themselves up to maybe the top 5 in offense if everything goes good together. So, another thing that I want to talk about, do you feel that Julius Randle can keep up what he built last season or go even higher than last season? Do you think he's going to stay the same, drop off, or aim even higher?
I feel like he should aim higher, because the previous year before that, he came back and adjusted his game, because the first year that he was there, he was like a ball hogger. He was keep running into double teams and losing the ball and trying to post up, and it wasn't working.
Right.
And then when he came back, it was a whole new different Julius.
Right.
They was rooting for him. He made it to the
We were.
right. He made it to the All-Star team for the first time because they act like they wasn't gonna make him an All-Star.
Right.
They, they was putting him in the talks of MVP. So I feel like, and now the fact that what was it? Was that his first taste of being in the playoffs, or he been to the playoffs before?
I'm not sure if Julius. I think that was actually no. That was Julius Randle first time being in the
That was all
playoffs,
of their first time.
except for like Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson,
Right.
Alec
But
Burks,
for the most part, it was a lot of them
it was
first
the
time.
majority of the team
So I
first time.
think just to get that taste
Mm-hmm.
of that, I think they're gonna come back with a more deeper hunger and drive as a team,
Right.
because now they understand what it really takes and the work that they really have to put in to even get beyond that.
And it's funny you should mention that because it brings me back to brotherhood. And today Nerlens Noel had a press conference, and I've noticed this through the majority of the players that have done press conferences so far for the Knicks. They always talk about a brotherhood between them, about how they like to get into the gym and practice together and build with each other and hang out with each other. And I truly believe that that within itself is going to make the Knicks more, they drive and they hunger more efficient
And
to where they
you're supposed to, as a team, you're supposed to want to be able to break bread with your brother and stuff like that, and get to that's the only way I feel like you're gonna gel together on the court,
Mhm.
is if you take that time to really spend time to not just certain people, or certain, you pick a player, or I'm gonna chill with you today.
Right.
It's not gonna work if you don't gel with all your teammates, because at the end of the day, you're a team.
Right.
Regardless if they're not gonna constantly be on the court with you or play, it's just that y'all, it's, at the end of the day, you guys are a team. Y'all all gonna be practiced together. Not everybody's gonna be on the floor with each other. But as long as you build that relationship outside, you don't want them to feel like, oh, I'm just on the team just to be on the team.
Right.
No, you want to make them feel like they are a part. So when y'all do go further in the season to get to the playoffs, like,
You know each other
right,
habits.
right, and you know that y'all did this together as a team. I don't want to say, yeah, we got there and I'm just getting a ring, even though I did get played, no nothing. To me, that's not being a part. I understand I might be motivating and pumping them up and cheer them on, but with me personally, I wouldn't feel like I earned that ring because I didn't get to play nothing. I didn't get to do anything.
Okay, speaking of ring, where do you think that the Knicks can really go this season? What do you think they could do? Do you think they can achieve the 4 seed like they did last season, or
It's
you?
crazy because I was thinking that they could get back to the fourth seed, or if they could, even third.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they were so close. Even though the way the season started, it was kind of like last minute.
Yeah.
Imagine if they did play the whole 82
Right.
games.
Mm.
Imagine, I wouldn't be surprised. They probably could have been the second seed
Right.
for all we know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was so tight and so competitive. And I think even this year, it's going to be even a little more competitive, because now you don't know, with now the fact that they're mandating them to get the vaccine, you don't know how many players actually is going to get vaccinated, and who's going to play and who's not going to play. So even this season is kind of like up in the air. It's like anybody's game at this point, to be honest with
Depending
you.
on the people who choose to
Right,
get vaccinated.
all that choose to get vaccinated. So is teams going to be having to get people, other players out of retirement, to come and join the team if they don't have enough players to play? It's like, what are they gonna do?
Right.
So
So,
it's
do you see the Knicks ranking up with some of the, the powerhouses in the East? Like, cause when you look at the powerhouses right now, when you think of the powerhouses in the Eastern Conference, you're thinking of Brooklyn Nets, Philadelphia, and Milwaukee Bucks, maybe Miami Heat. Do you think that the Knicks, with their current roster, do you think that they have a chance of being able to match up with those teams?
of course they competed against all those teams during the regular season,
Right.
and they beat them.
Well, they lost.
They
They
lost.
lost both. They lost all their games to Brooklyn. They beat Milwaukee. I think they, if I'm not mistaken, they might have split the series with Milwaukee or won the series with Milwaukee. I don't think that they beat Philly either. But when you look at Philly now, you're with the Ben Simmons situation. You don't know what type of team that they really
Right.
gonna be. So, I mean, how
I
do you?
feel like the Knicks at this point they can compete against any team. They're not slouchers.
Right.
They are very well capable of playing and beating a team. I just hope that for the sake of the players and everybody, I just hope that the officiating is legit this season. Calls get called that need
I
to be
feel like the
called.
referees really used to. I feel that they made a big difference in a lot of Knicks games last season. I felt like they caused. I think that the thing about with the referees in today's games is if your team is not expected to be that good, then they're not going to call the calls the way that you want
and
them to
that
call them.
and that's not fair.
They're only going to give it to the more popular team that
And that's
makes odds,
and
basically.
that's not how you should officiate a game.
Right.
Just because one team is more popular or more prone or the favorites, you shouldn't do that.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, they're all playing for something.
Mm-hmm.
They're all playing to get to the championship.
Right.
So if you sit up there and cheat teams out, that's not fair to them because they could be doing the best that they can out there, and you just shortchange them
Right. Right.
for a team because you think they more deserving to be at the finals than any. I was, to be honest with you, last season with the playoffs, the finals, I was like really interested and eager to watch that because we wasn't seeing the same teams that you always see all the time. Because when you see the same teams, you already know what's gonna happen
Right.
and how far they gonna let it go, and they bring in more money if they go all the way to a game 7. And it's just like the fact that we were able to see two different teams. It was enjoyable. It was like
It was
itching.
definitely
It
enjoyable.
was itching to watch because you wanted either team to win, but at the end of the day, you already knew which team wanted it more and was gonna get the advantage and the upper hand and win. And I was just happy to see that.
Okay. So I want to move on to a question that I'm not sure that you might even know, but I'm pretty sure that you got an idea on it. Who do you think on the Knicks is going to make the biggest jump this season? Which player on the Knicks do you think is going to they we're going to be like, yeah, he's the one. Think of the players.
I'm thinking of the players because Julius did it already. He can come back and do it again.
That's who you going with.
I'm
You going with Julian.
not sure because I'm hoping RJ can go ahead and
That's what, yeah.
show that
Right.
because like I can see it in
I'm
him.
trying to bet the future
Right,
on RJ
because
Barrett right now.
I've seen in him because he's
And
been
if you notice, a lot of the players been saying the same thing. Like RJ Barrett is going to take a leap
right.
this year,
Is his
and
coming out
and
year.
who better to get us prepared for it than the other players that's around
Right.
him? we witnessed when we seen the video of him practicing with Bradley Bill and all of that, the pull up jumper from three, how he mixing now, his handle done got a little better. I'm betting on RJ Barrett to take that leap, guys.
And I hope he does, because he has it in him to go ahead and do that.
So
So
that's what you betting on.
I'm looking out to see.
So you sure? Because you said Julius Randle.
No,
Said Julius,
I didn't just say
you
Julius.
said
I said
Julius could.
Julius
He
and
could.
right
RJ
and
Barrett.
RJ. So he could go further, but I really do think both of them. I can't
Okay.
just pick
So
one.
if Julius Randle takes another leap, let's say he was averaging 24 points per game last season, 6 assists, I believe between 9 and 10 rebounds. Do you think if he boosts it up to, let's say, maybe 28 points, 28, 10, and 6, do you think that he's going to be the one to deserve the MVP? Especially if he takes the Knicks
But
far.
that's if he's gonna be. But the thing about it is, you have to be consistent.
Right,
Because
that's what I'm
that
saying.
you
He was pretty
yeah,
consistent last season.
yeah, and if he continue to be, you got to continue to be, because that's the only way.
What's 4 more points?
Right, and you can easily get that.
He can get that
Because
4 more
the
points.
thing, the only way you can get that, and I feel like if you work as, like I said, it all goes back to team. If you work as a team, and you be like, if you and your team, even though y'all playing within a system, this is what I I'm speaking, me personally. If I was on a team, and I'd be like, yo, listen, I understand we're gonna be working in a system,
Mm.
but we need to have game plans for ourselves. As if, okay, whoever want to try to go for the scoring title, or whatever goals as players y'all have,
Individual goal.
individual goals. As a team, let's try to make sure each player
Right.
get that individual goal. So that, like, listen, okay, you want to strive for MVP, okay, you want to be an all-star, okay, we'll work on you, you know what I'm saying, as a team. And if you do it collectively, I think you'll work better up, and then you'll be able to, read the floor with each other, feed each other, understand y'all have to one plays. But if we'll be like this, oh, he like what, 2 points away from okay, let's try to get him that 30 points. Oh,
Are
you
you
two.
trying to do the Russell Westbrook? How they was trying to
No,
get the rebounds?
no, no. I'm just saying, if that's what your goal. Oh, you want it. Oh, you want to be defensive player. All right, work on your defense.
Right.
Oh, you want to get 3-point shooting? Okay, let's work on some, just little stuff that will make you a more efficient team. I'm just saying, me
Right.
personally, that's me. If y'all, and then, yo, let's do it. The whole, how about you try to be like how the doggone Atlanta was, when the whole squad, what they gave the whole squad, the MVP or whatever
About
they,
Al Horford,
yeah, all of them.
MVP,
Um,
player of the month, whatever.
right, they gave them all whatever. Let's be like that for a whole season,
Right.
when they gave everybody something, because everybody played together collectively and did something as a whole.
Right.
And
I really think that RJ Barrett is gonna take that leap this season. I hope that everybody else get better, specifically RJ Barrett,
right,
Julius Randle, and Quickly and Obi Toppin.
right.
What's up with Kevin Knox? He's at training camp. He was at media
Oh,
day,
I
but
think Knox. I think Knox want to go somewhere else. I don't know.
that's not. I'm not absolutely sure that he want to go somewhere else. I think that he wants to play for New York, but I think he wants a bigger role. But I think eventually, this season, so I'm saying it here. I believe by by the end by All Star by the All Star game, Kevin Knox will be traded. I don't know where. I don't know to whom. I don't know for what. But I truly believe that Kevin Knox will not be a New York Knick past all-star.
Because I feel like even when they do put him in the game, he's not as consistent.
Oh, I believe that he's consistent. I believe that I've seen a lot of games last season where they put Kevin Knox in. I'm not going to sit up here and say that every time they put him out there, he was dominating. But I've seen enough games to know that Kevin Knox has a future in the NBA.
But it might not be with the
Yeah,
Knicks.
it just isn't with the Knicks. So I mean, I wish the best for him. I hope that Kimball Walker stays healthy. I hope him and Derrick Rose stay healthy. And I hope that Deuce McBride and Quentin Grimes do get some sort of playing time. But RJ Barrett is the guy. He's the way, he's the future. So I'm betting on RJ Barrett having an awesome season, bringing that point average to above 20 per game with possibly 7 rebounds, maybe 3 assists. I'm hoping that RJ Barrett could do at least that. At least give me 22 points, 22, 6, and 3. 22.6 rebounds, 3 assists. 3 assists. That's what I want to see from RJ Barrett. But besides that, I mean, we're gonna get with you guys a little later. We're not gonna draw this out. We already almost at 50 minutes, so we're gonna cut it off pretty much here. But I mean, do you got anything else you want to say?
No, I'm just ready for the season to start.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just I'm just ready. I'm gonna be glued because it's a lot of games coming on.
And we're going to be getting back with you guys, keeping up to date with you guys through training camp and through preseason and through the season because you already know how we do. But, I just want to thank Miss Lee for being here. And you already know this OU and Knicks podcast. And make sure that you lead by example.